Right, here is a very warm welcome. This is Devang Mehra, and I welcome you all to my market outlook video for Tuesday, which is December 14th, 2021, which is 2 days shy of the FOMC, which is which is a very crucial event for the markets. And I did a very detailed video last evening discussing what are the brokers expecting, what are the investment banks expecting, what am I expecting most importantly. And today was not a very difficult market for us, but it was a heavily volatile market. Markets open very strong, but if you have seen my GAN work in the episode 3, I talked about how the gap up Mondays, they always get sold into after a very strong week. So that was one thing. The second thing was in the mornings, it was a very volatile market. Nifty particularly, it opened above 617,600, and you have to understand that going forward 17,600, as we've discussed, is a very important level, and the markets have to sustain over that for a long period of time. And once they start to do so, the markets will start to continue towards 17,860 levels. But what's important is that the markets need to sustain for a day or for 2 days at least, and need to give closings above those levels for you to go towards 17,860. Otherwise, this level is a good space where the sellers are getting strong, and they will keep on selling, especially when FIIs are going short on the market every single day for the last, I believe, 20 days now. So that is what has been happening, and markets opened gap up about approximately a 130 140 point gap up, and it immediately got sold into after 1 hour of the market action, and we have closed right at the bottom of the market. And same with bank nifty was a little bit stronger in the morning. It did give you, after opening a gap up, it did give you a good 300 point rally, but it could not sustain the 37,520 levels, and it started coming crumbling down and down and closed exactly at the day lows. So that was how markets were today. HDFC Bank, as we discussed last evening, was something which will not perform, and it didn't perform. And Reliance down 2%, HDFC down 1.3%, Kotak down 1.25%, SBI down 1.0%. So you can see the majority of the heavyweights have been down. So you can see a good large scale selling that's been done by the FIIs today as well. And DIs continue to buy, but not to combat the FII selling pressure. So very quickly, let's discuss about what can happen tomorrow. And we don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of things to tell you now because it was unclear what could happen today. But since we've combated today's market, I just quickly want to discuss a few points in the market, which I believe are very important. I'll spend about 3 to 4 minutes on that, and then we talk about tomorrow's market. By the way, if you're not on my Telegram channel, make sure you do subscribe. It's a free channel. Help me reach 4,000 subscribers by today. It's called Devang Mehra Members. I'll leave a link in the description so you get my live market commentary during the market timings. Okay, so today morning, I made it very clear that you have to be bullish, right? Markets open strong, but I said, please cut your longs. 37,520 is a very important resistance for me, and cut your longs in the index. And I'm going to upload a video after some time and in understanding why I chose that level and why today I chose today's date to take a shot. I also gave you a lot of resistance levels on all the banks. I talked about how 1550 is resistance on HDFC Bank, 770 is on the ICICI, and 708 on the Axis. And once you hit those levels, the markets kept on crumbling down. But the important part that I wanted to discuss was about how you trailed the short or how people go wrong in the markets. Everything else was fine. 37,520 was doing very well, and markets kept on crumbling down and down. You can see how important that had become. But what was important was that once the markets kept on crumbling down, a lot of people, they make this mistake. That is what I wanted to discuss. A market, once you got this very big red candle, what happened was some kind of pullback came in the market in the form of an inside bar. A lot of people make this mistake, they go long on this candle. Ki, nahi yaar, ab to gap fill ho gaya, let's go long. But you have to understand, this inside bar is nothing but people who've gone short, they run for cover. That's all. They're booking profits, but doesn't mean fresh people are buying in the market. Secondly, always remember my rules that whenever you want to go long after a trend, if you ever want to go long, you have to make sure you wait for a W, and only then you can go long. That's why inside candles always work most of the times. Markets fell down, they halted for a bit, then they again fell down. A great inside candle over here, then they gave you a good 3 candle halt, again gave an inside bar over here, then they again fell down and continued forward. A lot of people make this mistake, and I left a very important note even on Gan's work in the end, because I know this. I've been this guiding people for a long time, and this is something I want to talk about. The man who watches the tape very daily is influenced by hope and fears. Everyone's watching the tape, what's happening on Bank Nifty every second. He cannot help it. Suppose the market has been strong all day. Let's say the markets have been going up all day, and the stocks that he's interested in are also moving up. But around 2:30, when the markets are about to close, it starts to break. Think about today's example. The markets are coming down, 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 down. Around 2:30, markets give you some kind of pullback. Fine. But what happens is when the markets, after a good, what Gan is saying is what happens when the market goes up a lot, 2:30 ke baad it gives some kind of pullback, some kind of a dip. It goes on 15 minutes and the stocks are down 1 point or 2 points. It does not rally after that. And when 3 o'clock happens, it goes on a little bit more. What happens at that point is that people think about this. They think that what is going wrong in the market? After a very good rally, why is the market in the end coming down? And because of that, they start to book profits. That's what he's saying. The next morning, they sell the position at the closing because they get scared of what's happening. And the next morning, the stocks again open up 1.5, 2 points. Why does that happen? Because the selling in the last 1 hour or so was just profit booking, and traders who were scared to take a loss in the next day if things didn't move their way, they don't carry them overnight. Now think about what happened in the market today. And I don't want you to make the mistake simple again and again. Today when the market's around 2:30 or so, same what Gan said, it gave you a pullback. Now what happens is people think, yeah, markets have made a bottom, they've come around 380, let us go long over here. Now the question is, after a very good trending market, especially Nifty Bank, try to understand this. Yeah, market going up is just a matter of people profit booking who've gone short in the market so that they don't want to take any overnight risk. If you want to go long, look at the market structure of this position. If you look at the 15-minute chart, look at the market structure. This was the high, then markets fell down. This was the next high, then the markets fell, was the next high. You can see consecutively markets giving you lower highs. At the same time, markets giving you lower lows. So unless until markets change the structure, unless until markets give you some kind of a W, some kind of double bottom, you can't go long. So don't have this FOMO feeling coming into yourself कि यार अब तो market बहुत गिर गया है, let me go long. Remember my words, cheap will always remain cheap. Hashtag cheap always remain cheap. Expensive will always remain expensive. So I want you all to remember these points. ये नहीं है कि market गिर गया तो just see, if you're buying the market just because it is cheap, then it's the very big mistake. The market can fall down 50 point more. But if the market is falling down, ये नहीं है कि buy करना ही करना है. So just, there's some small points that I wanted you all to add and I wanted to discuss right now. So just keep that in mind. So Nifty Bank, both never ever. I also, for all of you to assist you in the live market, I gave you a very simple message also that the markets, you trail your stop losses. I put a message about that the markets you keep on trailing. Yes. So I talked about this position that 15-minute trailing assets have not been triggered. So I talked about that markets, if they are not giving any 15-minute closing above 17,433, you keep on trailing your shorts. So that is what you can see in the markets, that this level 17,433, इसके ऊपर कहीं market ने closing दिया ही नहीं था. So the shorts were never ever going out. So going forward, that you need to understand, because the markets have come down quite a lot now, for them to reverse, it doesn't reverse like this. It doesn't give you V-shaped recovery. It will first have to turn volatile and only then it can reverse. That is one fundamental thing that you have to keep it in your mind. We never ever think about reversals like this. COVID is over. I always say this to my clients that COVID is over. So if ever, remember these things, that whenever the markets are, falling down is a different story because markets fall in panic. But after any kind of panic, if the market wants to reverse, it will first have to turn sideways, then turn a little bit volatile on the up, give a build up, and then it can reverse. So that is always how the markets are going to work. So just remember that point in your minds. Now, if you look at the global markets right now, just what we had discussed, that there is still no point to go long. Inflation jitteriness is there, the FOMC jitteriness is there. So it's something we discussed about in the last couple of minutes, that I have told you very clearly that we are expecting markets to come towards 17,200. Let me know if you remember in the comments. And in Bank Nifty, we're expecting markets to come towards the 36,400 mark. So we're already playing in that direction. And today when the markets came down, I made it very clear that there is still, you all can keep on trailing your shorts and there is still no need to go long in this market. If you look at the SGX, the view is working well right now. It's down 70 points, and you can see the dollar is very strong. It's as we discussed, how the Euro USD will start to crumble and how the dollar will remain strong ahead of the FOMC. At the same time, you can see how the American markets are doing particularly well. They have They are witnessing some jitteriness ahead of the FOMC. The VIX is up 10% approximately. And one more thing today was that the India VIX was up 3%. That is something we've seen after a long time. So India VIX staying higher will mean that the markets will not go higher. So that is something you have to keep on understanding. At the same time, the Bitcoin is down. That's because the dollar is staying strong against something we're already aware of. And European markets are not doing well. It's particularly because the first death has been revealed in UK from the new variant of COVID. So I believe that is something ahead of, and also the FOMC, which is putting a lot of pressure on the markets. So with that, now what do we plan forward? So as I said, my bias is already there. You all are very well aware of it. I've already talked about this thing that if you have a ball and you keep on bouncing the ball on a particular level, the ball will not be able to bounce after some period of time. I'm repeating myself. If you have a ball and this is the floor, if you keep on bouncing the ball on that floor, eventually the ball will stop bouncing. You can see what's happening over here. It's called a short build-up. Markets are unable to go higher. So right now, if you want to go long, now the question is when to go long. You can take a long contract, but only above this point. जहां से selling आया तो उसके ऊपर only we will think to go long. But now that is something which is far fetched right now. Now imagine tomorrow the markets are opening somewhere over here. Our bias is what that the markets will come and fill the gaps of 17,200 and 36,400. So if the markets are opening flat, that's the best place for you to act. If the market opens flat and starts to break these lows, take a morning trade. But don't become scared. Don't stutter. I see a lot of people such easy trades in the morning and they miss out because they get scared. So if the markets are opening flat and they start to come down of the lows of 17,360, you can take a short. The first target will be 17,360 points, 20 point SL for Nifty. And then if this starts to break, then we will go for the gap filling target of 17,200. This is the penultimate target that we will be looking for. And I will not be surprised if this is achieved tomorrow. I have not had a look at the data as of now, but I believe that the data will not be very good on the derivative front. So if the markets start to come below the 17,350 mark, 360 mark, whatever this is, then the markets will more often than not, if they don't stop over it, then they will come and fill the gap of 17,200. So that is something. So again, I will for tomorrow, I'm making it very clear. If the market does crack, I am not going to look for any shorts below this point of time. I will analyze what the markets are doing at that point of time, or at least if I get some signal, I would try to go long for some quantities. But I want to make something very clear. Anyone who's bullish, I'm always bullish in the market, and there are times to sit out when you're bullish in the market, or you can play against and do some intraday kind of a trading. But the thing is that if you're a bull in the market, you have to keep it in your mind that you will only see significant recoveries happening in January. So currently, in the next 5 to 6 days, the FOMC is the only event that is concerning. And after that, the FIs are going to go on a leave and the markets will be very low volatile markets. Everyone's going to go on a holiday. And markets want you also to go on a holiday. So in the next 15, 20 days till around the 8th of December, 8th of January, till the TCS results come out, it's going to be very sideways or without any news or something like that. So you have to understand if any significant recoveries that you're expecting in the market, we should wait for such equity recovery, such recoveries in long-term equity that in your portfolios only after January, when the market sentiment is again lifted by the result season, and maybe if things go good in the elections front in UP, etc., and also maybe a pre-budget rally, something that we can expect ahead of the budget. So only then we can expect the FI selling to cool off and some kind of significant recovery in our portfolios and significant gains in our long-term investments. But again, Nifty scalping up and down is something we always can do. So going forward, the opening flat, crossing these lows, you can always go short. That will be the penultimate target for now. And I'm not expecting the markets for now to cool off below those levels. I believe in my analysis, that's a very, very strong support in the market. But again, if the markets are opening, gap downish, let's say they open a big gap down, then I would like you all to observe at least the first 5 minutes. And if the first 5 minutes start to break off these lows of 17,320, 330, whatever level is, then you can again go short and the target will be the same. But in the gap down scenario, the quantities have to come down because a lot of profit will already be made in the shorts overnight. But the view will change on the gap up side. If the markets are opening gap up for some reason, then obviously remember my words, the market will first come down. I'm very strict. I have a lot of conviction in the work I do. So even if the markets open gap up, and if you're sitting in a put overnight, don't panic. The market will first come down. And then at this point of time, I want you all to exit your puts, because in such a case, then the market will not break these lows. And then you will have to wait for Wednesday for some kind of a fresh movement. That's what can happen in Nifty for tomorrow. So you can see already 100 points down, and we're going good. Shorts are being traded. I'm very happy about it. I've asked you all to just keep on trading shorts, because our trailing stop loss has never been triggered. If you look at the super trend settings, you can see it's just going down and down. So we've never ever hit our trailing stop loss. So hopefully we should be in a good opening gain tomorrow itself. If you look at the charts of Bank Nifty, today I was just had a lot of conviction at 520 levels, and it did go up for a little bit, but it kept on crumbling down and down and down and down. But tomorrow Nifty looks very interesting. And for Bank Nifty, you want to trade Bank Nifty, then you wait for a flat opening. If the market opens flattish, you're not going to have a good time in the market, which means that the market will try to come below the lows that have been made today. So you can see a good consolidation over here. So the markets are likely to expand on the downside now by if they open flattish. So what you have to do is, if the markets go below the 36,850 mark, then you can start to take some shots. And our targets initially can be the gap filling around 30,600 is a good 200 point range approximately, 20 point range coming in over here. And then eventually, if this level also breaks, because that is not a significant support, the zone I am interested in, the zone of accumulation for me, is coming in at this 100 point range of 36,344 to 444, which I believe is a very, very strong support on the Bank Nifty charts. And this is one zone. If the market comes here tomorrow, I would like to buy some long-term equity, especially ICICI Bank. I've already given you my levels: 725, 748, and 8 for ICICI Bank. And good level of Axis Bank is around, I think I gave you the level of, I'm forgetting it right now, but the level that I've given you in Axis is the level of 688, if I'm not wrong. So they are very good levels on the banks to give support. So they might break them intraday, but some kind of buying in tranches for your long-term portfolios should be done at those levels. So let us observe how markets will be moving. But Nifty Bank opening flattish and breaking 36,850 will get you pressure towards this zone of accumulation that I've drawn on the charts. But again, the view will change if the markets are opening gap up. And same as Nifty, gap up opening would mean that these levels again will act as a very, very strong support. So make sure that if the market opens a gap down, a big gap down like you're seeing right now on the charts, then your quantities have to become reduced. At the same time, 5-minute candles have to be watched, because generally after a very big gap down, especially in such a volatile market, you will get some recovery and then again going down. So I will be there to guide you on that front. So make sure you're on the Telegram channel, listening and tuning into my live commentary. That's all for now. For the YouTube members, I will try to upload another video tonight for the stocks to accumulate for the portfolio, because I'm expecting some dip to come in, and we have to be ready when the dip comes in. So we have to be a predator. We have to hunt and not become prey. So if you are interested to learn other than these market outlook videos, we have my membership. You can always click on the join button below, and we conduct regular webinars, and we do a lot of learning videos in the live market and outside the live market to give you a better trading experience. That's all for now, guys. Cheers and have a good time. Bye.